Hey guys, this is Steve with TronicsFix, and today we're talking about dust filters. So I've gotten quite a few comments on my YouTube videos asking me to review dust filters, whether they're good for your consoles or whether they're bad for them. Some people think if you put them in, they're going to restrict airflow and therefore cause overheating on your console. So today we're going to test the temperature before we install the dust filters, and then once again after we install the dust filters to see if there's any difference and if there's anything to worry about when installing dust filters on your game console. So let's get right into it. The first thing we need to do is disassemble the entire console, and we're going to put a temperature probe right down by the APU chip on the motherboard so we can test the temperature right at the chip. So let's get started. The first console we're going to be testing is the PS4 Slim, and then after the PS4 Slim, we will test the PS4 Pro. And this is what we want right here on the motherboard. This is the APU chip. It's the main chip on the board. It is a GPU and a CPU put together into one chip, and this is where the vast majority of heat is generated. So what I'm going to do is put a temperature probe right up close to this chip so we can get an accurate temperature reading of the chip when we have the dust filters installed and not installed. I will also be replacing this thermal paste with brand new thermal paste when we put it back together. We have our APU cleaned off, and now it's time for the placement of the probe. And now we have our temperature probe placed right next to the APU chip. Now we'll put the thermal paste on and reinstall the motherboard back into the PS4 Slim. Now we have the motherboard installed, our temperature probe is fully installed and secure. Now we're going to assemble the entire PS4 Slim, and then we'll get to the fun part of playing the games. our temperature probe is fully installed on the PS4 Slim, and now it's time for the fun part. I'm going to play a game for about an hour so we can test the temperature on this, and then I will install the dust-proof kit, and then we'll play for another hour and see how the temperature changes or if the temperature changes at all. Now we have everything set up for the temperature testing. We've got our temperature meter set up here. We actually have one temperature probe going to the internal APU chip and the second probe just going to the back of the console to test the exhaust air. So temperature probe 1 is showing 102.7 and 39.7 Celsius, and temperature 2 is 27.3 Celsius and 81.9. So the temperature 1 will be the temperature of the APU chip itself. And now it's time for the fun part. See you in an hour. Okay, we've been playing Need for Speed for about 1 hour now, as shown on my phone. I've been keeping track there. And the current temperature is 156 degrees Fahrenheit right on the chip, and that would be 69 degrees Celsius. And for the exhaust air, we're at 138.5 degrees Fahrenheit and 58.8 degrees Celsius. So now it's time to install the dust filters on the PS4 Slim, and then we'll play some more for about another hour and see if that changes the temperatures at all. Now I got this dust-proof kit off of Amazon. I'll put a link to my Amazon store right in the description so you can get one of these if you'd like to. And I'm gonna open this now, see what's inside, and then get it installed. And then we've got, looks like some pieces for the sides. And then here's the foam strips. There's really not much to them. After looking at these, I can't imagine they're going to cause much of a problem, but we're going to still do this test anyways, just to make sure. And then it also comes with rubber stoppers for all of the other holes that are on the console. Now these dust filters have to be assembled. You have to have one piece with the pins in it, and then another piece with these larger pin sort of things that are going to snap into the side of the PS4. So what we got to do is get one of the pieces of foam and put it down inside of the piece that's got the grooves that go inside of the PS4 itself. And it doesn't really fit in here especially well necessarily. And there we have it installed. It doesn't really fit in there that well. It's kind of loose in there, but I guess it may keep some dust from getting in there. It definitely doesn't fit as well as I was thinking it would fit in there. Now this is where my temperature probe comes out, so I'm going to try and put this in behind that if I can. Now we have the second one installed on this side. So we have both of the dust filters on the side installed. I am going to go ahead and install these rubber pieces. I don't think that would make any difference at all in heat, but I am going to put them in just to check. I've installed the rubber pieces on the back. Now I'm just going to install this one on the front for the disk drive. And they all seem to fit in there pretty well. So now we have everything installed for the dust covers. Now let's play this game a little bit longer and see how it does. I have found a way to install the dust cover on this side a lot better, so it fits in there nice and snug even with my temperature probe in there. So now that that's done, let's take a look at the temperatures after I play this for about another hour. So I've been playing almost an hour with the dust guards installed, and I do notice the temperature has gone up to 161. So it is possible that that's just because I've been playing a little bit longer. It's hard to know for sure, but what I'm going to do now is actually take these back out, take all of the dust protection off of this and see if the temperature goes back down or not. So let's do that next and see what happens. Okay, now I have it removed. I'm gonna play a little bit longer on this game and see if the temperature rises or falls. So we've been playing this game another 10 or 15 minutes or so, and it does look like the temperature is still up about where it was with the dust covers installed. So at this point, I can confidently say that at least these dust covers do not cause any problems with overheating. They don't seem to affect the heat of the console at all. And in fact, if you look very closely at the dust covers, you can see that the mesh is very loosely woven together, and so there's actually a lot of airflow that can get through here. Now obviously the best thing is to just keep your console clean just with a brush or something like that and in a clean environment. But if you have to use something, some sort of dust cover or something like that on them, it doesn't seem to cause any problems, at least for the PS4 Slim. Now, that being said, this was a relatively short test. I played this console a little over 2 hours total, and those were the temperatures. But if you do play it for a long period of time, you may notice different temperatures than I've noticed. Thank you so much for watching this video. Next, I'm going to do a video with the PS4 Pro, the same sort of concept. I'm going to see if the dust covers cause any problem with overheating on the PS4 Pro. If you want to buy these dust covers for yourself, use my Amazon store link in the description below. I do receive a small commission on any sale, so if you want to get those, you can get those easily. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for supporting my channel. Let me know what other videos you want to see, and I'll see you in the next one.